Welcome back to another battle. We're playing 3 Chaos armies and we're fighting 2 Dwarf players and 1 Bretonnian player. So look over here. I brought in a lot of Chaos Warriors, Chaos Marauders who have great weapons, and a lot of aspiring champions. I'll be moving into combat. I have 1 Exalted Hero too. And right over here, 1 Archaeon. I wanted to bring in some magical damage. Unfortunately, my Pharaoh Manticore will not be long for this world. They have Flying Knights and they have a King. He's bringing in a few mounted yeoman archers too. Tokshin will be heading through the middle, from what I understand, and Mankirk is way over here on that hill, and he'll be charging on over. It's going to be a pretty intense battle. I remember our fight here wasn't too long ago, and it gets pretty crazy. My chariots I wanted to try to make work. Unfortunately, the battle definitely was not conventional, which is okay. We're looking at Tokshin being shot at, or he will be shot at. We got Thunderers over here, a lot of Longbeards, a lot of Slayers. If I remember right, this player brought in, 2 Slayers. We're looking at, back here, Bolt Throwers in the rear. And they're now shooting at his Marauders, which he told me was fine because they're cheap and terrible. No, they're just kind of a fodder unit, but they can do a lot of damage due to all that armor piercing. Yeah, I did a little bit of damage to their Knights, but nothing to write home about at all. Mankirk is charging right in. I had hoped that he would actually leave that dwarf player alone and charge in over here, or even over here, because dwarves are very slow. You can just leave them. But he's clashing right now. I'll be going to slow motion here and there because of how quick the battles are, but here's a good charge. Satchels are being thrown in. That's going to be quite damaging for him. Though for his own line too. When you have a stacked line like that, you're going to take a lot of damage. The Thunderers behind are not going to be able to shoot, so that won't even be effective. If you go look over here, Tokshin is now moving in. He's charging in. And me, as usual, positioning Surreal. That's me. I'm moving in right now. I'm trying to get over to their flank. I was a little bit messed up by that damn Bretonnian player and his Flying Knights and Pegasus Knights, and they have Iron Drake, Trollhammer torpedoes. Tokshin's going to be clashing right through, fighting for a while. There's a lot more infantry on the way. I don't know if Mankirk donated any of his men to fight with Tokshin. He's done that before, but I'm not sure if he did it here because it looks like he's kind of sparse over here. We do have Knights with Lances from behind. That could have potentially charged in and did a lot of damage, but Miners do have armor piercing. I don't know why the Trolls are moving in. I think they're... Oh, okay. They're going after the Bretonnian player. Yeah, not a bad call to get rid of the Trebuchet. Now, I don't know if I agree with having Chaos Trolls go on their own, though. Their leadership is very low. That's not going to work out too well. Or maybe it will. I guess we'll find out. But no, usually you want them near your leader. You want to be able to encourage them, so even aspiring champions could help them out. Slayers are over here, so you want to avoid that. There's a giant ring around them. Soul Blight for a nice debuff. Okay. Armor goes down. Leadership goes down. Unfortunately, dwarfs are very hard to break. Ungrim took a lot of damage. Oh, that's good. Though, he's a tough cookie to crack. Or tough nut to crack, rather. We have a Chaos Sorcerer Lord. I don't really bring a Lord like that. That's a spellcaster, just because after their magic is gone, they can't really do much, and you get equivalent magic off of a hero. I think like that's a major part of it. If the magic on a Legendary Lord was powerful or unique, then they would be worthwhile. Otherwise, yeah, they're not always worthwhile to bring in. I mean, they're cheaper. Okay, Trebuchet gone. But if we go look at it now, I'm beginning to move in. I'm hitting right now. I'm killing Thunderers and flanking them. My champions are moving in. I'm going after mounted yeomen. My chariots are moving through. They took some damage, but I'm trying to get them all through. Unfortunately, Slayers have anti-large, and those are regiments of renown, so they can do a lot of damage to me. Those Knights with Lances are doing quite a bit of damage. Wow, over 80 kills already. Yeah, we were actually making jokes about mounted yeoman archers. There's a point where we just let them shoot for a while. We give up on fighting them, and they get like no kills, and we ignored them. They got very few kills, like a handful. And look at that. His lord's now being focused upon, so that lord will be falling eventually. Actually, the lord didn't break or fall. I think he would have won the fight if I look at it. Yeah. Okay, so what should have happened here? Thunderers going into... Or, no, sorry. A Chaos Lord going into the Thunderers may have been effective before being shot at. He may not have died, and he has Terror too, and so he could do some more damage like that. And that would have worked. But when you begin to lose your Lord, that's when things begin to break, just because they have a lot of leadership. Tokshin is still moving in. He's fighting at various points, fighting the Bretonnian player too. He's holding very well. I'm over here trying to move in. I've got my own Marauders who are fighting these Slayers. I want to kill them quickly. Unfortunately, they do have Death Blow, which means that they're going to be able to hurt me even after I kill them. I have, what, Aspiring Champions over here. Yeah, they're just shooting in. Getting a few kills. Taking out the remainder of these Longbeards. Way back here, we're looking at the king. He was wandering a little bit too much. He should not have been doing that. The Bretonnian player made a good first start by taking out like 1,000 of my gold by getting rid of my Feral Manticore, or 1,100, however much it costs, but that was about it. Okay, Flaming Sword of Ruin. That's a great buff. A lot of damage. The Dwarf player is being overwhelmed on our side. If you look over here, if Mankirk didn't lose his Lord, I think he would have had a better chance, but the Thunderers were able to just drop whatever else was, you know, on the way. Let's keep on checking it out now. Over here, we're looking at Aspiring Champions fighting. Over here, Warriors who are beginning to push in further. Chaos Trolls are still here. So yeah, a lot of them are holding. But the main fight is way over here, where it's a 2-on-2 at the moment. There's bodies already all over the map. I'm hoping, like in Rome 2, they'll turn down the speed of the battles, because, I mean, we fought like a 3 versus 3, and it was over in like 9 minutes, whereas I've been playing a little bit of Medieval 2, and I'm not saying that they should last as long, but they should definitely last longer. And right now, I'm trying to get everything on Ungrim. I cannot stand him just being up for so long, so I put in a lot of my units to go kill Ungrim immediately. I have more Marauders moving out, off to go fight the Bretonnian units. So that's what we're doing right now. Actually, I didn't really need to go into slow motion too much. It wasn't as chaotic as our previous battle. Now, when you have like 17,000 gold, I think here we had like 15,000 or 12,400, or in that realm. Just because in the 3 versus 3 it gets pretty chaotic. Looks like Mankirk is beginning to get cleaned up. He's got a few champions here still holding on. Fighting. Chaos Warriors over there fighting. Bretonnian player is just kind of getting railed all over. These Chaos Knights have near 200 kills. Yeah, they're extremely effective. When they charge in, they kill. But cheap Marauders pretty much took the day taking out a Chaos player. I mean, a Dwarf player. Haha! Anyway. Alright, now we just have the remainder tossing into battle, throwing themselves into battle. We only have Ungrim left, which means I'm gonna fast forward now. I don't know, there's gotta be something done about that. Like, if your foe has X amount of troops left, then maybe Ungrim shouldn't be able to last till the very end. Just because usually what you get when you bring a Ungrim is that he's the last one that you've got to take out. I mean, how many times have you watched me fight a Dwarf player with Ungrim where I've had to just fight him at the very end? My chariot's got a decent amount of kills, 75. We're nearly done. Any moment now. Okay, end replay. Let's go look at it real quick. We lost over 300. Mankirk lost over 400, nearly 500. He brought in 679. Tokshin lost, well, one shy of 800. I lost 324. Let's go look at it real quick. I got a pretty good amount of kills with my Chaos Marauders. I mean, they're cheap and they got a lot of kills. I got a decent amount over here, 75. My Manticore, of course, did not get anything. And not a ton of kills, but we were fighting a lot of Slayers. I ended up fighting a lot of like the cheaper units. Well, not cheaper, but less numerous units. Over here, the King of Bretonnia got 53 kills, a pretty good amount. 48 for the Knights. A few for the Peasant Bowmen. I mean, they could easily tear into some Chaos Marauders, and they could have, but they didn't. Mankirk, if we look at it now, he did get a lot of kills, though. He did bloody them up. He did very well with his lances, 281 kills, got rid of artillery and everything else there, and they barely took any damage. 140 for the trolls, 197, so I was wrong then. He made a good call there. If he didn't lose his lord, I think he probably would have won that fight. It looked like he had the superiority, because, I mean, look, a Thunderer in melee combat is going to lose it. They're not going to get very far. Okay, aspiring champions, a decent amount of kills. But yeah, actually a fair amount of kills all over, just very few in numbers. So when you do begin to lose what you have, yeah, you're going to go. Son of Sigmar. Okay, Longbeards. I'm assuming that he's the one who was fighting Mankirk. Yeah, a lot of Thunderers. Not a lot of kills for his gunners at all. Slayer 75, a good amount. Longbeard's a decent amount too. Ungrim, actually a pretty okay amount. Not a fantastic amount of kills, but okay. And then the player we went after, a lot of Slayers. Yeah, 3 of them. I was very shocked about that. They actually did a lot of damage, but they're fighting cheap units, and they're going to get kills, though they're not cheap themselves. Thunderers, again, are just not as effective anymore. I find crossbows to be relatively effective now in comparison, just because they can arc shots a little bit more. Tokshin, let's look at him. A lot of kills across the board. Not so much for the cast of Marauders, but his warriors came in and did a lot more damage. But yeah, the Marauders are fodder. Sigvald, 47 kills, not to mention we just kind of completely destroyed Bretonnia and a dwarf player, and then we were able to go after Son of Sigmar, who only had Ungrim, and he broke completely. Anyway, thank you for watching. Don't forget to leave a like down below, and as always, until then.